Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Leilui nishmasi mimerasi Rus Mordechai. Welcome to all the guests. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name again?
Mark Willis.
From? Elizabeth. Shalom Aleichem. You guys?
Mayor Cohn from Toronto.
Toronto. You?
Roger Ray from Jackson.
How do you know each other? You don't know each other. Really?
Will Phillips.
Jackson in Toronto. Wow. We just had a guy from Jackson, what? Yesterday. Shalom Aleichem. Who else? Shmuel. Welcome back, Shmuel.
Oh my God.
Wow. Blast from the past. Shmuel. Who else do we have here?
You know, I met him in Masas Chaim. We talked about that.
I'm sure everybody wants to hear about that, but a little later. Hold on a second.
Here, no?
Oh, that's why he's here. No, I saw him here yesterday. Oh, before yesterday? Okay, now I have. Good morning, Reb Eli. Thank you for learning Geshmak. Baruch Hashem, I started the daf at the start of Baba Basra. Had a Geshmak time, so Baruch Hashem, I convinced my father and my 10-year-old brother to join the daf. This is a younger guy, you'll see a picture of him. Besides all my younger siblings love Reb Eli and watching the daf. The Shabbaton was beyond words. It was Geshmak seeing Reb Eli there. I brought some of the MDY socks after Shabbos. My younger sister wanted them for a birthday present. Here's the video of the birthday present. Thank you, Reb Eli. Shmuel Greenblatt, Muncie, New York. Here it is. Here's Shmuel, and here's the socks. Valdik. I don't know, it's like Silbash. It's never too late to make a siyum. Here's the siyum in Miami. Valdik. A lot of enthusiasm. No, I made a cheshbon that you're allowed to make a siyum like 3-4 days after the Masechta is over. But that's if it's a 30 daf Masechta. If it's 175 daf Masechta, it's times 6. Every 30 days you get. So mainly it's all within reason, I think. Good morning, good midnight, Reb Eli. Baruch Hashem, after the full day with both my kids having fever with no time to do the daf today. I was about to go to bed very exhausted, but because of Geshmak Chizuk, the creation is sheer of this great habit, I was able to go and learn today's daf, and now finished at 1:25 Israel time. So if you look on the screen while I'm reading this, during the siyum, they gave out a very interesting gimmick here. This is a scratch off. Every daf that you do, you scratch off, and at the end of the perek, you get to scan a QR code here. And like I showed yesterday, somebody won a tzimmer. Today we're finishing another perek. It's a raffle for here in Eretz Yisrael. Tractor, what is it called? Tractoron. I don't know what it's called in English. ATV trip. Again, this is Yossi Klein sponsored $2,000 of his own money towards this. He's the best CEO you could have. He just keeps giving out of his own pocket. It's crazy. I wanted to ask you about the following, and maybe you can possibly address this by the shir, so there can be a tiyelis for everyone who might be interested. You recently told us about the time of the raffle. Kids, sir, if you weren't at the Siyum of Shemesh, what do you do? So here it is. Here's the barcode. Here's this QR code. Thank you, and have a restful night. I guess he's talking to himself. Looking forward to being able to attend the shir physically soon. Your Talmud Yidel Grossman. Reb Eli said, because we have also, I just wanted to show you this. I don't know, this is also for Americans, Dave? This thing? It's good for English people? It's in Hebrew. It's for everybody. Basically, it's a bot, a WhatsApp bot. You put in that number over there in the bottom, 050-567-1404, and then you could ask it for any daf you want. You say, Baba Metzia daf Lamed, and it comes up onto your screen immediately. It sends it to you. The Israelis working behind the scenes. Rabbi Eli said we're holding by the Masechta sponsors because we have a very, very long daf. Do not put it on 2-speed, you'll regret it. Refuah Shelaima for Yosef Chaim Shmuel ben Alte Nechama from his grateful family. Another Masechta sponsor for Hatzlacha Beruknis Begashmiyos, sponsor Larry Cohn in memory of Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim V'Yeta, who started learning the Daf Yomi at age 70, continued for 32 years until he's nifter. The fourth Masechta sponsor for the unity of the Jewish people. For parnassa chodesh, Leilui nishma Zechrya ben Moshe, Leilui nishma Chaya ben Yosef, and Yosef ben Chaya Sara for parnassa berevach. Amen. Another one as a zechus for our children and a tremendous parnassa. The fourth sponsor, Leilui nishmat Yafa bat Simcha Refuah Shelaima, Yisrael Yaakov Ben Malka. Parnassa Shavua. Naftuly Kraus should be a zechus for Reb Eli to continue making learning Geshmak, and a zechus for Siyata Dishmaya, Yiddish Nachas, Shalom Bayis, enjoy, remember, and teach Torah, parnassa, Refuah, and Atzlacha. Amen. Koilol of the week, last day, in memory of Simcha and Gittel Stern, lifelong supporters of Torah. 3 parnassa hayoim, Refuah Shelaima of Rivka Bat Malka. Second one, Am Yisrael Chaya in Eretz Yisrael in honor of Seir Nachal. 9:32. May the dedication and our learning open all the doors. Amen. Ari Seitner, a zechus for Shelaima for our amazing sister Rachel Leah Bas Cyril de Voira. Amen. Art of the month for zechus for Reb Eli and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. In the art of the month, in honor of Yosef Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work they do. Rabbi side is a record, 717. Question. We know the famous Gemara 40 days before Yetziras HaVlad, Shalom Aleichem, was Heltzach. Arboim Yom Kodin Yetziras HaVlad. We're going to that yeshiva. What's the name of the yeshiva? Beis David. You're sponsoring the siyum. You're sponsoring the siyum. You're making the siyum. Whatever it is. My brother-in-law, just Benzi Friedman, my brother-in-law is very, very close to the yeshiva. He gets the WhatsApps from him. And he's been bugging me maybe for, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years to go there. I told him it's in his chus. It's a tziruf. Shkoyach. So Be'ez Hashem, when are we going? Sunday, this Sunday? Sunday we're going to the yeshiva. Givaldik. So anyway, Beis David. So, Abraham Yom Kodim Yetziras HaVlad, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is machraz on the day of conception. Ploini leploinus. Ploini lebas ploinus. This zachar goes to this nekeva. So the question is, let's say a few days later, you decide you want to have a girl, you don't have a boy. Could you daven and make that boy into a girl? Is it possible? Huh? Yes. The Olam saying yes.
Until 44.
How do you know? Up to 40. Okay, so we'll see. We shall see. So says the Gemara, holding like 8 lines from the bottom of Daf Chof Aleph Amud Beis. Omer Mazutra. V'tem Marukva. Batchila nitna Torah liYisrael b'ksav ivri v'lashon hakodesh. In the beginning, the Torah was given in a different writing that we're not so familiar with. It's called ivri. If you look at any shekel, it has it. You're not going to be able to zoom in. Here's a picture of it, if you want. This is not a picture of a shekel, but this is what they found. It actually says on these very, very antique coins, shekel Yisrael. What? This is the original shekel. The original shekel. Was this taken from your thing? I guess so. Yes, this was taken from Rabbi Schoenberg's piece. Shekel Yisrael, it says on it. The original shekel. How old are these shekalim in this picture? 2,000-year-old coin. So it has a Ktav Ivri, and Rabbi Schoenberg put around on the outside Shin Kuf Lamed Yisrael. It goes all the way around. And what does it say? Yerushalayim Shebehegd. What does it say? Shebeha Kodesh. Agdusha. Shebegdusha. No. This is Shin Beis. Yerushalayim Shin Beis Hagdoisha. Yerushalayim Hagdoisha on the shekel, 2,000 years old in Ktav Ivri. The Torah was written in this interesting. If you look over here, you could literally see. Here's the Ivri letters all the way on the left. We don't. Our Torah looks nothing. There's a Y over here. The Y is the Vav. I'll talk about the Vav in a second, in a few minutes. So that's what was given in the beginning. But the language was Lashon HaKodesh. Chazra, this is Marzut Rushita. Chazra v'nitnalem b'mei Ezra, in the days of Ezra. It was given b'chtav Ashuris. It's interesting to note that tonight, and many of you will be seeing the shir tonight, it's Ezra's yahrzeit. B'mei Ezra, b'chtav Ashuris, v'Lashon Arami. I think Asar B'Tevis has to do with Ezra also. Lashon Arami, later on, it was given in Ashuris. We know what Ashuris looks like when you're looking at Sefer Torah. This lettering, beautiful lettering, and it switched to Aramaic. Birlim Yisrael, then Klal Yisrael decided to make a little seder over here. Ksav Ashuras, they took the beautiful Ksav, Uloshan HaKodesh, and they took the original language, V'nichul Ad Yotes, and they left over for the simpletons that Yotes, Ksav Ivris, V'loshan Arami. They said, okay, you could have the Ivri and the Arami, everything in the, not like what we have today. Manad Yotes, who are these Yotes? Omer Avchizda Kutoi. These are the Kusim, which are alive and well today in Eretz Yisrael and our Grizim. They have their own Torah. So in that Torah that they have today, it's actually in Ksav Ivri and Arami. It's Givaldic music also. My Ksav Ivri, Omer Avchizda Ksav Liboina. Ksav Liboina is, so says Rashi Liboina, so I've never seen a mezuzah written with Ksav Ivri. So the pshat is that a mezuzah is written with Ksav Ashuras. But on the mezuzah, on the outskirts of the mezuzah, they would write different words, whatever, for kameas, for a Muslim, and that's the larger letters, Ksav Ivri. Tanya Reb Yossi Oimer, Roya Hoya Ezra. Ezra was so great that he was deserving. Thank you. He could have given the Torah like Moshe Rabbeinu. But what should he do? He lived in generations later. But Moshe went up to Hashem. So Allah is a lashon of Torah, Aliyah l'Torah. Bezra Oimer hu Ezra Allah mi Bavel. Ma'aliyah amur kan Torah, Aliyah amur la'alon Torah. When it talks about Ezra going up to Bavel, means up to the Torah. B'Moshe Oimer ba'isi tziva Hashem be'esahi. Baruch Hu commanded lamed eschem chukim mishpatim to teach you all the rules. But Ezra Oimer ki Ezra heichen levave lidros es Torah Hashem. V'lasis lamed b'Yisrael chayku mishpat to teach Klal Yisrael the rules and the judgments. V'afal pi shlei nitna Torah al yodoi. Even though the Torah wasn't given through him, nishtana al yodei ksav, but the way it was written did change by him. Shenemar uchsav hanishtavan on top of Chav Beis Amud Aleph. Ishtavan is a lashon of change. Kosav Aramis and Maturgim Aramis. It's written in Aramaic and it's translated in Aramaic. That was the spoken language that uchsiv. Lo yichahalin kosva kisava lemikrei. I can't even read this. I can't explain. Ufishri, I can't explain it. Lohida lemalka, to explain it to the king. So, what happened was Belshazzar, who was the father of Vashti, he went to battle. He came back from battle. Hold on a second. Let's do this. Just look at the screen now. When he came back from battle, he made a big party and he used the kalim of the Beis Hamikdash, which is a no-no. And then a hand came out, just a hand, without a person or anything, a hand, which was a malach. And this malach wrote on the wall. And he wrote something that nobody understood. And that's what the pasuk says there. I don't know, we don't understand what's going on here. There's Jews in the audience, nobody can understand what's going on. Because of his Mishnei HaTorah Azois, Mishnei Torah, we could learn it like we learned yesterday. Mishnei Torah can mean a second Torah, that a melech, king has to have two Torahs, but no, we're learning it over here, Mishnah, to change. This is a writing that is going to change. Like we explained, it's going to change from Ivri to Ashuri. Why is it called Ashuri? So one shot is Ashur. They took it when they came from Ashur. Not that this necessarily was the writing in Ashur, but this is where it started. Tanya, Rebbe Oimer, we're going to go back into this writing on the wall in a second. Rebbe Oimer, Batchilo b'ksav zeh nitna Torah l'Yisrael. Rebbe argues, Amar Zultra. Rebbe says no. When Moshe Rabbeinu brought the Torah from Har Sinai, it was written in Ashuri like we have today. Kivin shechatu, when Klal Yisrael sinned, nepach lohem l'royetz, it became splintered, not so nice. Stick letters. Shekivin shechazru behem, when they did tshuva, chzir lahem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave them back. Ksav Ashuri, shenemar shuvu libitzaroin, go back. Libitzaroin is the lashon of Yerushalayim. to the city of Mivtzar. Asirei HaTikva, those who are waiting for Mitzapim li Yeshua. Gamayoy Magid Mishnah Oshiv Lach. And I'll return, Magid Mishnah will switch it back. Lo Menigosh Mashuris. Shemu Sherez B'Ksav. It's the most beautiful Ksav. There's a whole question if there's Gemaras that say that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the Torah, all the tagim, all the little lines on top of we have the crowns on the oisius here. We have his Ksav Ashuras. So you take look at the nuns over here, the three, there's Tile Halachas. And then there's a famous one where the Gemara says, even one of the Mandamrim here, Mazutra I think it is, he says that everybody knows that the mem, the inside of the samach stood with a nace, because it's hollow. Now if you take a look over here at the samach, here's a samach, and you go over here all the way to the end, look at that, it looks like a Christmas tree, I don't know what it is, it's like you know what I'm saying, this thing over here, it doesn't have a hollow. Let's look at the mem for a second. Where's the mem? Here's the mem. Mem, M, it's a zigzag like this. Where's the hollow? When we learned the sugi, I'm just going to show you, I found it. So, because back in the day, I used to do arts and crafts. So here's a samach, and if you go like this, where is it? Yeah, samach. You go like this. It's an ace. Stands like this. Huh? Oh, wow, that's what they asked over there. Anyway, but so the shaila is, how does it all line up? Rebbe seems to be saying the real pshat according to all this, that it started out with Ashuris, it went to Ivri and went back to Ashuris. So Ayin Sham. Reb Shimon ben Elazar Omer Mishum Reb Elazar ben Prata Shomar Mishum Reb Elazar Amidoy. Ksav Zelo Nishtana Kol Ikar. The Ashuri, the Ksav of the Sefer Torah never changed. Shenemar Vavei HaAmudim. These pillars, the Vavs of the pillars. Now, let's take a look. First of all, what is a vav? A vav in Hebrew means a vav is a hook. Something like this. This vav amudim. It's a simple hook. What letter does that resemble? A vav today. So you see, the vav didn't change. Now let's look at their vav. Their vav. Here, I just pulled it out. Here's a vav all the way on the right. Look what it looks like in Ivri. What does it look like? A Y. Looks like a Y. So that changed. A vav didn't change. So says the Gemara, that's a Geshmak hook, a more modern hook. But a vav is a simple hook. And it looks like a vav. Ma amudim lo nishtanu, avavim lo nishtanu. The pillars didn't change, the vav didn't change. And memele, if the vav didn't change, none of the letters changed. It's all the original Ashuri. V'oimer, it says in Esther, like their writing, like their language, the language Lashon HaKodesh never changed, so too their writing never changed, the letters never changed. If the letters never changed, so before we learned Mishnah Torah means to change the letters back to what they were. No, the Shtei Torahs. We said before, the other day, the Melech has two Sefer Torahs. One is a tiny one that goes with him wherever he goes. It's like a little emelet. It hangs on his hand. It's very small. It's not like this 50-pound Sefer Torah. It's a tiny one like we saw Reb Chaim Kanievsky. Shenemar, Shivisi Hashem lenegdi tamid. I put HaKadosh Baruch Hu in front of me always. In other words, the Torah. Now, if you say that it's not two Torahs, it's just coming to say that the language went back, so then what's this Shivisi? Hi Shivisi, my Darish Bay. To teach us, a person who's davening, you hear this Rabbi say, should pretend himself, that's why in every shul they have, by the Amud, Shavisi Hashem Tamid, in Panovich they put a towel over it because people are taking pictures all day, so it shouldn't be like, if you get rid of a picture, you shouldn't have Hashem in there. You have to envision as if The Shekhinah is right in front of you. Shenemar, Shevisi Hashem, Lenegdi Tamed. I want to show you this email I received this morning. Right over here. Dear Reb Eli, I'm the 64-and-a-half-year-old that was interviewed for the Shabbaton. Jeff Rubin. He started learning Gemara when he was 64 and a half. You mentioned yesterday about talking in Shul. I daven in Hendon Adas in Hendon, London, and I'm delighted to say that I've not spoken in Shul for over 15 years. This means from the moment I enter till the time I leave. This means that even if someone wishes me good Shabbos, I normally just smile. Many people have said that this is rude and I should answer them. I told them after Shul. He writes in parentheses, if I answer good Shabbos, let me just I can put it up here on the screen so the Olam could see. It is there. Told him if I answer good Shabbos, he probably would start a conversation. This is what I started to get into. Now, most of the Mispalim accept this, but many think I've taken it too far. Maybe, but I only want to talk to one person in Shul. Shevisi Hashem lenegdi tamid. What I'm saying is that it's possible to achieve a no-talking policy, as they say. How do you? La'at. Okay. Keep up the great work, Jeffrey Rubin. All right. I think it's a tremendous Kabbalah. So Zog the Gemara, Reb Shimon the Omar Ksav Zeli Nishtano, Mai Lo Cha'al in Ksav L'Mikre. According to Reb Shimon, that our letters never changed. So why couldn't the Jews that were there by Belshazzar, why couldn't they read the writing on the wall? Literally, it was the writing on the wall. Omer Rav Begematri Yichtiv Lahain. It's because it was given in Atbash. So let me just show you real quickly. Yoshi did a phenomenal job here. This is Atbash, right? The letter on top is transferred to Tuf. Aleph is Tuf, Beis is Shin, Gimel is Reish, Dalet is Kuf. If that's the case, so take a look at what happened there. According to Rav, there's 4 shitas here. On the wall it says Yitat, Adach, Pukchamt. No, nobody understood what it meant. But if you know Atbash, so let's take a look by ourselves. What's Yud? Yud is Mem. What's Tes? Tes is Nun. What's Tuf? Aleph. So here goes. Mem, Nun, Aleph, Mem, Nun, Aleph. It spells Mina Tekalu Parsin. Now, I think it's interesting. Even if it said that, nobody would know what it's talking about. They'd have to pull out the art scrolls. Mina Tekalu Parsin. But it doesn't even say Mina Tekalu Parsin. It says Yitas Adach Pugach. So what does Mina mean? So first you need the Gemara. It's like a 4-step thing. First you need to know what it says. It doesn't say Yitas, it says Mina. What does Mina mean? The Gemara tells us. And after the Gemara tells us, we need the art scroll to tell us what the Gemara means. And then maybe you can understand what's flying. Omar Rabbi Gematri Yichtu Lahoin. Yitas Adach Pugacht. My parashlu, what does it mean? Minei tekelu parsin. Minei means to count. Mina lekom al chusach. Hashem counted your kingdom, Belshazzar. Vashlam alach. You're done. Tonight you will die. He was so nervous that he was going to die that he realized that he's going to die that day because they told him the writing on the wall says you're going to die. So Daniel, nobody understood the Yiddish. Daniel told him this is what's going to be. So he said, okay, I have a way out of this. Anybody that enters my room, no matter what, I don't care who it is, kill him on the spot. Fine? In the middle of the night, he needed to go to the bathroom. So he left his room. When he came back, they killed him. They didn't realize what it is. He said to kill anybody who walks in, they killed him. They fell asleep for a second, whatever it was. And that's it. You're finished. We're going to make it up, and today's the last day. Tekal means to weigh. You should weigh it on a scale, and you'll see that you're missing. Parsin, what does Parsin mean? Your kingdom is broken via Havis, and we're going to give it Lemodai Uparas to the kingdoms of Moras and Modai Uparas. Ushmul Omar, it said on the wall, Mamtus Ninakfi A'alaron. Here's Shmuel. Now, if we look over here, how do we read? From right to left. Mamtus Ninakfi A'alaron. Says the Gemara, no. Says Daniel, he's supposed to read it this way. From top to bottom. Minna, Tekal, Ufarsin. The last one is actually one word. 6 letters are one word. Okay. Ushmul Omar. Mamtus Ninakfi. Reb Eli Omar. So everything is backwards. It says Minna tekal uversen. Every word is backwards, but even if you get it, even if you know how to break codes, you still wouldn't understand, I don't think. Rav Ashi Omar, nemei, ketal pursin, basically just switching the first and the second letters. The aleph instead of the nun. If you look at the last word, it's the ufirsin. No, where am I? Sorry. I'm Rav Ashi. Here we go. Rav Ashi. The last word, it's just the pei and the vav that are flipped, but the rest of the word is the same because we only flip the first and the second letters. Okay.
What's the point of the writing on the wall if nobody even understood what it was saying?
Why was it written like that? Yeah. Maybe that Daniel should be matched with Daniel. Only Daniel could understand it. I don't know.
Yeah, the first two words are. Should be.
Okay. Baruch Hashem, the Rosh Kodesh found a mistake. I'm so happy for you. Wow. What's the mistake? It's a big one, yeah. Okay. We'll have to fix the taka. Says the Mishnah. Ein roichim al susay. What? It's for you. It's not. We know. Yeah. Ein roichim al. Hopefully that's the last one. Nobody. Only the Rosh Kodesh can have these things. No. We switched it afterwards, and then it's a thing for the certain people. Ein roichem al susay. Rabbi say a king is so chashuv. You don't use anything that he used. Anything, not his belongings, not his clothing, not his gold, and not even his wife. Ein roichem al susay ve'in yoshim al kiso. You can't sit on a seat. Ve'in mishtamshim misharvitoy, and you can't even use his. Whatever it's called in English. Yeah, I like this one. This is okay, MDY, but this one is better. This one says, made in China. Whatever. Actually, we have it already. It's in the, you saw it? They sent it to you? Yeah, there's a stempel. It says, Ashi approved. It has him, so yeah, with his tie, the whole thing. Yeah. I don't know. Here's another one. I don't know what this is all about. This is shtickle eitzanos. Actually proved. Okay. You're now not even seeing the king getting a haircut. And when he's not clothed, and even when he's in the bathhouse, whatever that means, I guess he's clothed or he's under the water, but you're not allowed to see him in all these situations. You have to fear the king. Avishag muteres l'shloima v'asur l'aduyniya, the famous Haftorah. V'amelech David zokim baba yomim v'yichasu b'abgodim v'lo yicham lo. He was older and he couldn't warm up his body, whatever that means. And they told him, as the Gemara is going to bring the psukim, yeah. So the few weeks, Chaya Sara. Seems like this week. So they said they have to bring a psula and she'll warm him up. So we said you can't marry a king's wife unless you're a king. But the Gemara says Avishag mutaris l'shloima. His own son Shelaima is allowed to marry this woman Avishag. Why? You're not allowed to marry your father's wife because she wasn't a wife. She was just there to do one purpose, to warm him up. But Asur l'adoniya, another son, he's not a king. He's not a king. And Memela, he's not allowed to use, so to speak, his father's, whatever you want to call her, Seichenes. Mutar Shloima, the Melech Chaya. She's mutar to Shloima because Shloima Melech became a king later. Umelech Mishtamesh, B'Sharvitish Melech, and one king could, do me a favor, Tzaddik. And a king uses the sharvit of another king. Ba'asur la'adoniya, but she's also ta'adoniya, the head yitu. Avishag Mai, what's the story with Avishag? D'chsiv, v'amel dav zokim baba yomim. V'yoyim ru lo yavodav yivakshu nariyofa, chsiv, v'yivakshu nariyofa, chsiv, v'hanariyofa ad mo'id. V'tila melech shechenes v'tashur seyu. Some say, I forgot where I saw this, that David HaMelech wanted to work on his taiva and say that even though she's yafa ma'oid, he's still not going to touch her. Well, whatever. I'm saying not have relations. Amra Ninsban. So she says, let's get married. Amar lo asir asli. We can't get married. You're not allowed to me. Omerlei, so she told him a very, very sharp lashon to the king. What?
18.
Yeah. We're going to see in a second why. Omerlei, yeah, I'll say it now, because he already had 18 wives. Omerlei, I'm not accepting this. Chasr Ganova, when a Ganav doesn't have what to steal, all of a sudden, Nafshe L'Shlomanakid, he runs to Kailo, he starts learning Torah. You're not a tzaddik, you just don't have anybody to steal from. What she's telling him is, maybe the reason why you're saying that you're usher to me is not that you're usher. You're just too old. You don't have the capability even to get married. Amar Lahu, Kirli Basheva, let me prove you wrong. Call my wife. Now, this doesn't work to warm up for whatever warming means. It doesn't work with a wife. You need a psula. But to prove that he's a barhachi, call my wife. Uchsiv, Batavi Basheva el Amelech Achadra. So his wife Basheva came to the room. Omer Rav Yudam Rav. Boisashah Kincha Basheva B'Shloish Esri Mapos. They had 13 relations. You know, and each time she used one cloth. Says Rashi over here. Where's Rashi? Kincha Basheva Sheba Lea Shloish Esri Bioisum Kanachas Bin Tashmish Tashmish. Says Rashi like this. Before I say Rashi, Reb Chaim Volozhiner asked the Vilna Gaon, is when you write a get for Batsheva, do you write it Bas and Sheva, or it's one word? So the Gaon told him that Tomachti Yisedoisai B'Shloish Esri Tevois. Chaim Volozhiner had no clue what he was talking about. He went out and he remembered this Rashi, proved from this Rashi. Tomachti Yisedoisai B'Shloish Esri Tevois. Says Rashi, Ubemikr zeksuvim shloish esrei tevois. That's what the Vilna Gaon was talking about. This Rashi. Vatovei basheva la melech. Let's count them. It says 13 words here. Vatovei is 1, Bas is 2, Sheva is 3, El is 4, Hamelech is 5, Hachadra 6, Vamelech 7, Zaken 8, Ma'oid 9, Vavishak 10, Hashunam is 11, Mishar is 12, Es 13, Hamelech 14. Says the Vilna Gaon, Basheva must be one word. Because it says, Shloish Esrei Tevois, and there's 14, so it must be Basheva is 13. Says the Gemara, and that's how we know there's Shloish Esrei. Omer Rav Shama bar Abba, Boirei.
With the space, in the Rashi, look. In
Great, but that's how you write it, but it's written in the get different. Omer Rav Shama bar Abba, Boirei, Kama Koshin Gerushin. Over here, a lot of people say, oh, the Gemara is sexist, biased, this, that, the way we say Shaloi Sani Isha, biased to women, but over here you'll see a whole sugya of how chashuv one's wife is. Boirei kama koshin gerushin, how difficult it is to get divorced. And unfortunately, we see in this generation, even on this block alone, I know about 3-4 people that got divorced within the first year of their marriage, just on this little block. It became like a magefa. Shari David HaMelech Hetir Lo Liyached. We said yesterday that because of Tamar and Amnon, we made a gzeira, the top words of Chaf Aleph Amud Beis. It says that they made a new gzeira of Yichud, but in this case they were matir David HaMelech to be with Avishag. They should have said, just take one of your 18 wives and get divorced. What's the problem? Hetir Lo Liyached Hetir Lo Ligarsh. Omer Reb Eliezer, Kol HaMegarsh Ishta Rishayna. If you divorce your first wife, the famous Gemara, Afilu Mizbeach Moyerdol V'Dmais. The Mizbeach will cry for you. The Rav was trying to convince the guy not to get divorced. He says, the Mizbeach is going to cry. He says, I'd rather the Mizbeach cry than I cry. Or, I've been crying for 20 years, let the Mizbeach cry for a day. Whatever the Lashon is. Reb Pesach Cohn says, the reason why the Mizbeach, what's Shalom Mizbeach? I think it's Reb Pesach Cohn. I heard it from this. This morning somebody sent me that. I said it last night, but somebody sent me. Shmuel Goldstein says Reb Pesach Cohn. The Mizbeach sees killed animals all day long, but what he doesn't see is killed children. And divorce kills the children. That's the one thing that gets divorced. What? Okay. Maybe he said it over from you. Okay, very good. Shenemar v'zoi shenis ta'asu k'sois dimos mizbach Hashem b'chi v'anoko. Cover the tears of the mizbeach. Meinoid pnois el mincha. can't get the mincha. I'm not going to take the korbanos from you. Why? Hashem testifies between you and the wife of your younger years. You betrayed her. You betrayed her. She's your friend. If a person steals, then his punishment is that his wife will die. So it bothered me a lot, and I think it bothers a lot of people. Because you steal, your wife should die, you should die. So Reb Chaim Shmuel says that, of course, your wife doesn't die because you steal. Your wife is going to die because she did something terrible, whatever it was meant to be, not terrible. Not everybody dies because she was meant to live 30 years, she's going to die because 30. But what about you? Why do you deserve that your wife should die? It's a punishment for you, it's a punishment for your children. If you steal, then Hashem will go in and give her the punishment that she deserved, but you also deserve it now. Shenemar, if you don't have what to pay, the famous Maisa, a very big Gvir came to the Rebbe and he said, I don't know what to do with my wife. She's terrible. She's mamisha, machshefa, this. I have to get rid of her. He says, the Rebbe says, I have a great answer for you. It says in the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Daf Yomi, if you steal or you don't pay, your wife dies. So go ahead and donate a mikvah and don't pay it. And then she's going to go five. Kach have a $5 million donation. He promised it in front of everybody and he didn't pay. He comes running back to the Rebbe. He says, Rebbe, I don't know what to do. She's not dying. She's mamish not dying. So the Rebbe says, the pshat is because you fight too much and you sue mechaprim, so that's why she's not dying. Treat her nicely and she's going to go five. So he goes, learns how to do it and this. He starts treating her nicely. He starts treating her nicely, so she starts treating him nicely. And all of a sudden they had a decent marriage. So he comes running back to the Rebbe. He says, Rebbe, what should I do? I like her now. I don't want her to die. He says, so you have to pay up the mikvah. Unbelievable. If your first wife dies young, it's as if the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed. It's something you cannot forget forever. It's not something that just goes away. Shenemar ben Adam hinini lekech mimcha esmach medinech. I'm taking from you the beauty of the apple of your eye. B'magefa lo tispa. He tells the Navi, you have to pretend nothing happened. Lo tispa lo tifka v'lo yitavi d'masecha. Don't even cry. And the Navi explained to the nation. Baboikim atomas ishti ba'erev. Elom baboikim atomas ishti ba'erev. Uchsiv hini mechalel iz mikdashi go'oin uschem machmadei nechem. Omer Alexandri kolam shemeis ishti b'yomav oilam choshech ba'adoi. If a person's wife dies, his whole world becomes dark. Shenemar or choshech ba'aloi v'neirei olav yidach. His candle will extinguish. He loses strength. His footsteps are shorter. Shenemar Yitzru tzadi yoinoi. Omar atzosun fellas. He doesn't have good advice. The woman he discussed things with and she gave him advice falls away. Shenemar v'tishlicheu atzosun. Omar Rabachano. Omar Rabbi Yochanan kosher lezavgom kikriyas yamsuf. This is the drasha that we heard hundreds, maybe thousands of times in our lifetime, every Sheva Brachas. Kosher lezavgom kikriyas yamsuf. It's hard to put a couple together like kriyas yamsuf. And everybody asks, but it's easy. Every shadchan just takes a guy and a girl, both they get married. One of the best answers that I heard, for me at least, is that everybody could split water. You go like this in a bathtub, go. And it splits. The thing is that the water goes right back. It's easy to make a shidduch, but to keep them married and that they shouldn't fight. Men are from Mars and women from Venus and take two different koiches and things and they should live in the same place for 50, 60 years. That you need HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But it doesn't really fit in with the next pshat, with the next Gemara. Shenemar, Elikim Moishiv Yechidim Baisa. HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes singles, puts them together in a house. Moitzi Asirim takes out prisoners. Bakusharos. Bakusharos means in the right time. Alte Asirim Ela kim moitzi asirim, like taking out prisoners. Alte bakasharis. Ela b'chi v'shirois. When Mitzrayim, they were drowning, they were crying. V'shirois, Klal Yisrael was singing. So it's like Kriyas Yamsuf. That this Elokim Moshe Yechiel Baisa is like b'chi v'shirois at the time of Kriyas Yamsuf. Eini. Well, Rabbi Domarav, Arbaim Yom Kodim Yitziras Avlad. How can you say it's so difficult? 40 days before the embryo takes form. What's 40 days before? It's a lashon nikia. It means the moment of conception. 40 days before Avlad Yitziras Avlad Bas Kol Yotzes Vayimeres Bas Ploini LePloini. It's already done. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't have to work hard later on. Kaviyachol. It's already. We know this person. Says the Gemara like Hashya bezivig rishon ha bezivig sheni, the first marriage and the second marriage. So look at Taisus for a second. I'll read it from here. Says Taisus that we say in brachas that you could change the sex of the baby in the first 40 days. And even the Zivig Rishon. So the Zivig Rishon, I'll say there? Okay. Like Kashya, Bezivug Rishon, oh, Bezivug Sheni. And I have to say the famous joke, even though I said it last week. The guy got divorced from his wife, and 2 days later he remarried her, and everybody said, "What's going on? You just got divorced." He said, "You know what? Bezivug Sheni, she's good enough." And they say the same what?
The funny thing is that everyone who says this by a Shabbos, the biggest Rosh Hashivas, are making a mistake because they're talking about it first. It's Zivug Rishon, and it's not about Zivug Rishon.
Yeah.
So everybody's getting up to talk about it. It's wrong pshat in the Gemara.
Yeah. Omar Reb Shmuel Ben Nachman. Sometimes they say that Zivug Sheni is really your first Zivug. The Zivug Rishon was a mistake. You grabbed the wrong one. You didn't do this. Okay. Huh?
What your eyes see. What we know.
Zog the Gemara. Omar Reb Shmuel Ben Nachman lakol yesh tmura chutz meishes nurim. I used to ask all these yeshiva bachrim, what does tmura mean? And hardly anybody knew, but now they all know because they know what I'm about to ask. So they tell each other. I was going to ask you what's tmura.
Is the cold one?
When you, real quickly because it's not to get to our sugi really. Let's go weiter. In a carbon, you say this should be a carbon, and then you decide you want the larger one to be the carbon. So you think you're doing a mitzvah because you bring something larger. No, it's Issa D'Oraisa. So everything has a replacement. In business, they always say, "Oh, don't worry, don't let this guy threaten you because everybody has a replacement." Chutz, besides Meishis Neurim, your first wife, Shenemar Meishis Neurim Kisimois. Masal Rav Yehuda Rav Yisrael Berei, Givaldik Meiser Rabbi say, listen to this. Rav Yehuda tells his son, "In other moitze koras ruach, a person doesn't find peace elam ishti rishoina. The only time you have peace is from your first wife. Shenemar." Yihim bekarcha baruch usmach me'eshes nurecha. Mekarcha baruch eshes nurecha gevaldik. Omar Loi, so the son asked the father, Rav Yitzchak asked Rav Yehuda, Kigoyman, give me a good example. Omar Loi, Kigoynimcha, your mother. Oh, ask the Gemara, Daf Yomi Beis, Eini, V'makri le Rav Yehuda, Rav Yitzchak Berei, the same Rav Yehuda to the same son, Rav Yitzchak, he's telling him the pasuk. There's a lot of people, this is their favorite pasuk. They quote it to the wife all the time. I find worse than death is a woman. Asheri mitzoidim v'charomim, she's a bunch of traps of charomim. V'amar lo kigoyman. So the son asked his father, "No, give me a great example." V'amar lo kigoynimcha, your mother. She's a terrible woman. I wish I was dead. So what's the pshat? You just said the first wife, and he brought his wife as an example. She gives me peace. Says the Gemara, mitkaft kifa. She's a very, very tough woman. His wife, his mother, the wife. Aburi mi abru b'mila. However, with one word, you could calm her down. So I think the pshat is gevaldik. I mamish love this pshat. It's similar to the pshat I said a different time, but we can still make another. What is it called? A short out of this. I really know, Bamis. I mamish feel for myself. What? Chabamol gezog. Ich hab gefleckt zogen. Gefleckt zogen. No. This is new. This mamish came out now. I didn't even ask my chavrusa about this because he'll laugh at it. No, this is a good one. I think this is an Eitz Tova. The Gemara is talking to every single one of us. That what? Every one of us, it says that Isha achas mi'alef limetzasi. I didn't even find 1 out of 1,000 women. Shelaima Melech says, same Shelaima Melech who says, Moitzani mar memoves Isha. He's talking to men. I can't even find 1 woman out of 1,000. Guess what? Can't even find 1 man out of 1,000. What's the pshat? Every woman has her negative to her. Every woman. You get married and all of a sudden you don't like this and this about her. Every single woman. That's the pshat. Every woman has a problem. So do you. So does every man. We're talking to the man now. So what's the trick? He says, yeah, your mother's mitkaf tkifa. She's terrible. She's very, very tough. But she has milas. You have to look at the good stuff. Aburi ma'abri b'mila. If you're going to focus all your attention on that one bad thing, you're going to get divorced. You're right. But guess what? Every woman has a bad thing. So you have to focus on the good. What's good about her? Aburi ma'abri b'mila. She calms down in 1 minute. And every wife, whatever it is, she's a great mother, she's a great cook, she's a great wife, she's a great this. You have to find that thing and focus on that thing. Like ich hab gefleckt sagen, but it's shtickle different. It's a little bit of a twist. I think it's gewaldig. I'm taking it home. I'm taking my home shot home. Turning of the Daf. Berkovici family in honor of the MDY Daf champions Leo, Shamshi Schlafrak, Uncle Freddie, and Mr. Gross. And Refuah Shelaima, our first leader in chief, Chaim Gavril Ben Tzivio Lana, by the members of the Monsey Fire Department. And Yaakov Sitron. Citron Films, strategic. What, you found a problem with this also? Yeah. What? It's Citron Films, strategic video production. Zog the Gemara. Rav Shmuel bar Unya Mishmei the Rav Isha Goylam he. A woman is a big Goylam. Rabbi I have a wonderful day. Isha Goylam. A woman is an unfinished vessel. Veina Koireses Bris Elam Lemisha Sa Kli. And she becomes about bris. How do you say bris in English? Covenant. She makes a covenant with the first person she's with. When you have relations, the person who suffers the most when someone dies is the wife. We're very familiar with this one. I'll tell you, Baruch Hashem, most of us don't know about this, but I saw it with my own father. So sein gesund and stark, when my mother's nifter, she's only 49 years old. I've never seen such a broken Kli in my life. Such a broken person, mamish, crying every day. Gershon told me about his own father, who watches the daf. So I'm going to go easy. But I'm saying an adult person who has einaklach. You've never seen him cry in your life, never. And all of a sudden he's crying like a 2-year-old all day long for a year straight. That's a broken person. And that happens when a wife dies. So you can make fun of your wife, and you could poke fun and think about divorcing and this and that. At the end of the day, every single person suffers when their wife dies, and that's the whole Gemara here. How much we need our wife, our first wife. Do not get divorced, Rabbi Isai. Sorry, I skipped. It was Ishnaami. Only him. How do you know? Yaakov Avinu says, where do we say this pasuk, Rabbi Isai? We just learned it on Monday, and we're going to learn it tomorrow. It's Sheni of this parasha. It says, Mesa Alai, she died for me and nobody else. You're not supposed to see the king take a haircut. Just for that, I don't want to be king. You have to sit there in the chair every single day and get a haircut. Kohen Gadol Erev Shabbos Lev Shabbos. Kohen Gadol gets a haircut once a week. Kohen Head regular Kohen every 30 days. Why? A king should be beautiful. Kohen Gadol Erev Shabbos Lev Shabbos. Omer Shmuel Bar Nachman Omer Bechinon Hoyil Mishmores Mischadshis. We know there's 24 groups of Kohanim. Those 24 groups take over every week on Shabbos. So the new group should see the Kohen Gadol in his beauty. Kohen Hadyoit, what about a regular Kohen? Why every 30 days? There's an Isser for a Kohen to shave his head, and there's an Isser for a Kohen to have long hair. They should trim their hair. So when we were learning Nazir, this is one of the most viewed videos on MDY. I interviewed a true Nazir. He's a Talmud Chacham who wrote Sfarim.
I'm not going to even say the word that you're not allowed to say.
So for the rest of Nazir, we used him as our character. Hareini Nazir. When a person says, I am a Nazir, it's 30 days. By Nazir, it says, Gadol Pera Sara. You say, Malal and Shloishim. By Nazir, without saying anything, you just say, I want to be a Nazir, automatically you're 30-day Nazir. Afkan Shloishim. But how do we know by a Nazir it's 30 days? Yud Hey is 15. Yud Hey is 15. Equals 30. Begmajrit loss and havu. So maybe when a Cohn gets to 29 days, he should shave. Why? How did he get to 30? You shouldn't get to long hair. Then you're right. It's already long. You can get to the 30 days, but don't go further than 30. So how come in our days a Cohn is allowed to grow his hair long? It says Gemara Dumi Yayin. It's similar to wine. Just like wine is only when you go to the Beis Hamikdash, you're not allowed to drink wine. But when there's no Beis Hamikdash, you're allowed to drink wine. So too, when it comes to long hair, it's only when there's a Beis Hamikdash. Unfortunately, we don't have a Beis Hamikdash. What, you're allowed to drink wine? Listen to this. This is unbelievable. So it goes like this. You shouldn't be able to drink wine ever if you're a Kohen because Mashiach is going to come. Not Mashiach. The Beis Hamikdash is going to be built right now. And if you are drunk, how are you going to do that avodah in the Beis Hamikdash? You can't wait a few hours. The Beis Hamikdash is coming right now. So if you know your Mishmar, you know that you're this and this week, and you know your Beis Av, you know which family you belong to, meaning you know you're going to be on Sunday, not Monday. So Sunday, twice a year, when it's your Mishmar, then you don't drink. If you don't know your Beis Av, you know your Mishmar. So twice a year, you can't drink for a full week because that's your Mishmar. You don't know which day in the Mishmar. And if you don't know your Mishmar, you're a Kohen like most of the Kohanim today. Donnie, you know your Mishmar? You don't know your Mishmar. Shomer, you know your Mishmar? No. So you can't drink wine the entire year. Comes Rebbe and he argues, Rebbe Omer, it doesn't matter what your Mishmar is and what your Beis Av is. You're never allowed to drink wine. Why? Because what if Mashiach, the Beis Hamikdash is built right now, and they call you in, they said, let's go. Or they change up the Mishmaris. I don't know. There's a Churban Abayis, and unfortunately, we don't know when the Beis Hamikdash will be rebuilt, so we allow you, because of the Churban, we'll allow you to drink. Why do we drink wine today? Kirebi, because Rebbe says that because of the Churban, you're allowed to drink today. But who argues on Rebbe? Tanakama, Rabban Nasri. So why are you telling me that you're allowed to drink wine? And therefore you're allowed to cut your hair. According to Tanakama, you're not allowed to drink wine. Huh?
You don't need to cut.
You don't need to cut your hair, right? We're concerned, not concerned. We hope that the Beis Hamikdash will be rebuilt immediately. And we need a Kohen who can perform that avodah. So as the Gemara, so too, when it comes to cutting hair, maybe we need a Kohen and he's going to have long hair and he's not going to be available. You just jump into the barber's chair and you just 2 minutes later you're done. Says the Gemara, so let him go to sleep a little bit and then he'll come. If you go for a little walk, a spatzir, and you sleep a little bit, it'll get rid of the shichros. So how much is that? So we had a Lubavitcher here last night from the Tzava. He was in the Air Force. His name was Mendel. I don't remember his last name. He said the Rebbe says that it takes 23 minutes and 59 seconds to walk a mil. So that means that the Beis Hamikdash will come so fast. It's 23. You only have 23 minutes and 59 seconds to go. Let's go. And you have to. The Chavetz Chaim brings this. He says that's how you have to be mitzapel Yeshua. You think what do you mean the Beis Hamikdash? It's going to be right here. I can't even get drunk because maybe the Beis Hamikdash is going to be right now. That's great. If you drink the tiny amount, the 80 milliliters of Reb Chaim no, okay, a little bit of sleep. But what if you drink like Yeshiva Bacher? So then it's going to be worse if you sleep. So we have a little bit of a video here, right, real quick.
Hello everyone, welcome to our daily experiment. And today, first to sober up for someone who drank a revius of wine. The first way is by walking a meal. Getting there. Wonderful. The second way is by sleeping. I can't fall asleep. We'll put on Reb Eli share at half speed. And here we go.
כל מקוששן עוד עדב, כל בשיטה אחת אסור.
Pay attention. Even a short sleep helps. I almost got there. Anyone who has drunk more than a revius of wine will not sober up with just a short sleep.
But boys, I have
Have a wonderful day.
All right. It's more than a revius yayin. You don't sober up with a meal. Rav Ashi Omar Shesui yayin the machli avodah goes Rabbanon. Says Rav Ashi that wine ruins the avodah and it invalidates the avodah. Look, it says in pasuk Tes yayin v'shecher Alte, don't drink, and then what it says in pasuk Yud ubein achol, it makes a choil. So wine ruins the avodah. Any avodah you performed as a drunk, it ruins the carbon. Pre-roish, it goes to Rabbanon. So Rabbanon said you can't drink wine bisman hazeh. Pre-roish, but having long hair, the worst comes to worst, you'll do the avodah with long hair, but it's not going to ruin the carbon. Like goes to Rabbanon, they didn't say that bisman hazeh you have to shave. You have to make sure you don't have long hair. Meisvei, ve'elish b'misa, pre-roish v'sui yayin. Long hair, you get misa. What does misa mean? B'dei shemayim. Bishlam v'sui yayin. I understand you get death penalty from Shamayim. You don't want to die? Don't drink. But how do I know that if you have long hair, you get the death penalty? This guy's there's a hekish. Why? Because they're brought in the same pasuk. These guys, that's a pasuk in Cheskel. Just like drinking wine, you get Misa b'dei shomayim, so too having long hair. Umina asked the Gemara, so mashtuyan the machle avodah pre-rosh the machle avodah. So then learn the reverse, that if you perform the avodah with long hair, it should be machalo the avodah kashya. It's a good kashya. And how do we know this halacha before Yecheskel came along? What, you need a navi to tell you this? That you get misa if you have long hair? There's another halacha that only Yecheskel taught us. So what happened beforehand? If a person doesn't have a bris milah, Cheskel says he shouldn't go to Beis Hamikdash. Why does a person not have a bris milah? Because his brothers died from a bris milah. But he's not allowed to go into the Beis Hamikdash. Who told you that this halacha before Yecheskel came along? We knew this from Moshe Rabbeinu from tradition. He threw it into a pasuk. He found it in a pasuk. So too, in we knew this traditionally that you get misa if you perform the avodah with long hair. And he brought a pasuk. Oh, now the Gemara says no. But at the end of the day, to answer the question that we had before, what we learn halacha only lemisa for if you have long hair, but to be mechal da avodah, that we don't know if you have long hair. What does it mean? The Kohen Gadol had a very interesting, special haircut. What is that? A special, there's nothing like it. The end of the hair was by the root of the next hair. It sounds like a close to a zero, like a one. Shalos Rebbe, is it the spiritual Kohen Gadol? They asked Rebbe, what does it look like? Go look at my son-in-law. Tanya Rebbe Omer, Lo Yalchinam Pizah Ben Elasa Es Moisav Ben Elasa didn't spend so much money. The Rebbe said, listen to this. I got to tell you before you go. He didn't say it over that the haircut looks like this, it's one hair like this. He spent tons of money so that you could see it visually. MDY. Hadran aloch kohen gadol, Hadran aloch kohen gadol, Hadran aloch kohen gadol.